Hey, brothers. My name is Mike, and I'm one of the leaders at the Braveheart Men. And today is Man Talk Monday. I am coming to you today from a van in a field on an island off the coast of this Pacific Northwest. And it's raining. And I'm here because I'm committed for the next month or two to finish a novel that I've been working on for a long time. This has been a passion for me for years, and I have had to fight within myself, with my circumstances, with all the people in my life, but mostly with myself, to make the room, make the space, make the time for me to clear my desk, to clear my metaphorical plate, to commit this time, to actually give it to this project that means, if I'm honest, so much to me. And it feels really important to my gift to the world, to what I'm here to do, to my purpose. And I think that's a great backdrop for me to talk today about purpose. I think all of us as men, I know all of us as men, long for purpose. We want to know what we're here for. We want our lives to matter. We want to know what that mattering is supposed to be for all of us. And so I thought today I'd share with you 3 quotes that speak to this in some way or another, and speak a little bit about what I've learned and what I struggle with around purpose, and kind of see if it can spark some new ideas for you. So the first one actually comes from another book that I love by Jack Kerouac that's called On the Road. If you haven't read that book, it's a great read. It ages well. It was written back in the 50s, but it's a great book. But in that book, there's one scene where he's driving down the road. He's on the road himself, and he encounters these other guys. And when he stops the car, he gets out of the car, he walks up to them. He asks them this simple question that is so profound when you stop and look at it. And the simple question is, you guys are going somewhere, or you're just going? That question has stuck in my mind for decades since I read that book. In addition to my work as a writer, I'm also a professional coach. I work with leaders and teams, and have been doing that work for over 20 years. And I got to say that in that work, the dominant thing I've encountered with men is that they're not going anywhere. They're just going. Here's what I mean by that. Most of us, it seems like, most men anyway that I've encountered, it seems like the way we do life is that we hop on the stage of life, we go out into the world, and we look to see what is being asked of me, what is the game that's being presented to me that I'm being asked to play, what is the challenge that is being presented to me that I'm being asked to meet or to achieve, whatever it is. And then I will react to those things by trying to achieve them. Some of us as men try to excel. So we react to the challenge by, I'm going to win this. I'm going to be the best at it. I'm going to kill it. Some of us try to skirt by. I'm going to do the minimum that I have to do to actually, quote unquote, win at this. Some of us pick and choose and say, well, I don't care about that challenge, so I'm going to just ignore it. Or try to skirt by but not really give it any much effort. And this other one over here that I do care about a little more, I'm going to give more energy to that. But in all of these situations, in all of the contexts I just described, the man is not setting the agenda. It's always being set by the environment around them. It's being set by society. It's being set by their parents. It's being set by their spouse. It's being set by their lover. It's being set by their job. It's being set by other men. It's being set by whatever the forces are that are in the society around them and the environment around them that are telling them This is who we want you to be. This is how we want you to be. This is what we want you to do. And so most of the men that I've worked with over the last couple of decades have built their entire lives like that. I wouldn't say that they've had a purpose. I would say they've had a reaction. They have gone through life basically asking one question. What is the problem I'm being asked to solve, and how do I solve it? That's it. Almost like they get up every day, they look out onto the world, the landscape of their life, and they go, okay, where are the fires that I need to put out today? What are the challenges that I need to address today? What's being asked of me that I need to respond to today? And that's it. So their entire sense of purpose is all passively received. They're not making any proactive decisions about it. There might be some small measure of that, like when they're choosing a major, if they go to college, or when they go to a technical school, or whatever it is. There might be some times when they're making some proactive choice. But most of their lives have been in a state of passive reactivity, where they're just kind of waiting to see what comes at them, and then reacting or responding to that, and that becomes their whole life. And very often, when they come to me for coaching, which can happen sometimes early, but more often than not comes in their mid-30s, coming into their 40s, and they've achieved some measure of success or not, but usually they have achieved some measure of success, and they shockingly find it empty. They find it hollow. They find it unsatisfying. And they don't understand why. Typically, they don't understand why, because they've done what was asked of them. They've responded to society in the way that society has asked them to. And they've, in one way or another, succeeded. Or at least nominally succeeded. Like, even if they didn't knock it out of the park, they were satisfactory in their job. But it's hollow, and it's empty, and they wake up one morning, and they have the mortgage, and they have the family, and they have the car, and they have the career, and they feel like they're living a lie. I think it was Henry David Thoreau that said, most men lead lives of quiet desperation. He said that a long time ago, but the story for many men is still true. And I think it's largely because of this way that a lot of men have chosen to do life, which is passive reactivity. I wait to see what comes at me, and then I go out and solve that problem, challenge, request. Nelson Mandela, this is quote number 3. Nelson Mandela said, beautiful quote, "There is no passion to be found in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." I'll read it again. There is no passion to be found in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. So I would assert to you that all those men I just described in all those scenarios are doing this. They're settling for a life that is less than they're capable of living. Because all these guys are looking to their environment, to their society, to something outside of themselves to tell them what their potential is. And I would assert to you, nobody out there knows. Nobody out there has the depth of insight, the capacity to actually see into your soul of souls, your heart of hearts, into the bone and marrow of what you're really made of, to know what you're capable of. And you yourself only have hints of it, especially if it's been untested, if it's been untried, if you haven't risked a lot, right? So the alternative to this is to ask a different question. Instead of asking the question every day, okay, what's the problem today and how do I solve it? Where's the fire and how do I put it out? Ask a different question. The question being, what do I want to create today? And to think about that more specifically, what do I want to create with my wife today or with my lover today? What do I want to create with my kids today? What do I want to create in my body today? What do I want to create at work today or in my job? What do I want to create in my neighborhood? What do I want to create in my world? You can take it anywhere to any part of your life. What do I want to create in my finances today? You feel how that question has a ton more agency and power in it, but also responsibility. Because now you have to figure out what you want. And that's not an easy question to answer, because to answer that question, you actually have to go inside. Because nobody out there is going to be able to tell you what you want. You actually have to go inside to get that answer. You have to go into your heart. You have to go into your mind. You have to go into your spirit. You have to figure out what it is you're made of. What is it that you actually, pardon my French, give a shit about? What is it that actually pisses you off when it doesn't go the way it's supposed to? That kind of gives you some hints about what it is you actually want. So asking yourself that question every day is a way of beginning to open up that box of desire, right? What do I want to create today? And it doesn't matter if the day goes your way or not. Let's say you wake up sick. You're like sick as a dog. Okay, I'm sick as a dog. What do I want to create today? Being sick as a dog, right? You always have agency. You always have the ability to create something, to make something, to have the dignity of causation, as John Eldridge calls it, to have the ability to actually bend the world a little bit and move it. That is way different than sitting passively back and waiting for the world to throw things at you and then trying to build a life, to cobble together a life based upon whatever challenge is thrown your way. What if half of those challenges, or maybe all those challenges, aren't even the challenges you're supposed to be addressing? What if that's not even the game you're supposed to be playing? You won't know that if you don't do the inner work to find out what it is you actually want. So one more quote and then I'm done. This one is by Yamamoto Sumitomo, Japanese guy. I love this quote. He says, "It is spiritless to think that you cannot attain to that which you have seen and heard the masters attain. The masters are men. You also are a man." This is a great response to every voice in our head that says, yeah, but. Right? So everything I just said, there's a voice in our head. We all have this voice. Some of us have a whole chorus of them that says, yeah, but. Like, sure, what do I want to create? Yeah, but. I have a mortgage, my kids, my wife, my whatever. You list all the stuff off. All of that is spiritless. All of that is excuses. What do you want to create with your life? Start asking yourself that question every day. Just for the next month, just for 30 days. And then every day, create something. Create something. Doesn't matter what it is. Might just be as simple as create a blessing. Create a moment of encouragement. Create an act of service for somebody else. Simple. But do it. Create it. Bend the world. And notice the power of your own agency and begin to pay attention to what you actually want. And then you'll begin to see that turn happen from being a passive receptor of life to being an active creator of your life. That's my thought for the day, guys. Purpose. We all need it. And that's an initial step to get you from passivity to proactivity with it. Have a great rest of the day. Great rest of the week. I'll see you soon.